I'll be honest, after chapters 3 and 4, I've been really sobered on the idea of theorizing about Deltarune. It was so much different than any of us could have possibly expected, and nearly every theory the community had about these chapters going in was proven so wrong by the end of it. Not that it's a bad thing, in fact I actually think it's much better if it goes in a direction we don't expect. Toby wouldn't even be half the writer he is if we were able to predict what happens next. But this is all to say that it has me apprehensive to make any crazy guesses about the next chapters, to say the least. I mean, I never even felt like my own theories about the game were ever all that great anyways. But even in the face of all that, I still technically have one theory in the back of my mind. One that I just haven't been able to shake despite my best efforts. And it's that by the end of this story, Susie will become one of the greatest characters of all time. Not just in Deltarune, but in all of fiction. After chapter 4 especially, she's being set up to be someone truly amazing. The only person with enough hope to change a seemingly unshakable prophecy. But even outside of whatever might happen in the future, I think that she's already one of my favorite characters of all time. I'd even go as far as to say that she might just be the best character Toby has written, and we're only at the halfway mark. Now, I probably don't need to explain to you why Susie is so great. Toby isn't exactly subtle when it comes to this character and her development. I mean, it is the main focus of multiple chapters. Everyone gets Susie, but I think that's a part of why her character is so special right now. After the new chapters got released, it feels like nobody can agree on anything. No matter what you say, somebody disagrees and an argument is sure to break out. Heck, people are doing 180s on previously untouchable characters like Sans and Toriel. But the single exception to that rule I've seen is Susie. No matter where you go, who you ask, everybody loves Susie. Now, a large part of that might be because her character traits and growth throughout the game are way less subtle than other characters Toby has written, and she's generally a very likable character with a great personality. But I think there's more to it than just that. After all, Toby has written tons of super likable characters with great personalities. No, I think it's because right now, in a time where the future of Deltarune's story has never looked more bleak, Susie represents hope. She is the single light in the darkness that can make a better future. But to explain why, first we need to talk about freedom. Before chapters 3 and 4, everyone thought that the theme of freedom in Deltarune's narrative was mainly related to just Chris. The player's soul controlling Chris is clearly a major plot point, and Spamton reinforces this, acting as a parallel to them being a puppet controlled by some higher being. We know this. And while none of that has changed, it's become clear that freedom is a concept not only relevant to Chris, but the whole story. Chapter 4 in particular tackles this head on with the prophecy and the idea of predestination. The prophecy is shown to be this absolute unbreakable course of events. A story which will play out exactly as foretold, and has already happened precisely as it's been written to the finest detail. It's a story where no one is free to make their own choices. In a way, they've already been made for them. This is even reflected in the main cast circumstances right now too. Even outside of all the soul possession stuff, Chris is wrapped up in this strange shelter cult, and it seems like they might not be an entirely willing participant at this point either. Noelle is the daughter of an extremely strict parent, scared to do anything without her mother's permission, which, let's be honest, she usually won't grant. And Rouse, phew, do I even need to talk about Rouse? He's literally stuck in the dark world. Like, he can't even physically exit them without turning into, like, I don't know, a green crayon or something. But then there's Susie, who's easily the most free out of everyone. Don't get me wrong, how she acts around the topic of her home life and what we see of her room in chapter 3, it's clear that it's far from sunshine and rainbows. But while we still don't have the full picture of what's going on, she's been able to do pretty much whatever she wants. Stay out out until dusk, sleep over at Toriel's place, sure, yeah, whatever. Her situation is probably crummy in its own way, but whatever it is, she's still the one with the most freedom to do what she wants when she wants. And what's really interesting about all of it is how it translates into the dark world. Even in a place which can serve as an escape from reality, freedom is oddly an aspect which carries over. Chris has to put up with us controlling them for pretty much the entirety of each dark world. Rouse follows us and our commands to a T. We're able to take nearly full control over Noelle and the Snowgrave route. Heck, even the player. We're quite literally a being from a higher dimension given form, and yet our choices often don't matter that much. But Susie, just like in the light world, she's able to do whatever she wants to. Our choices can be completely irrelevant if Susie wants to do something different, like when she chooses to go with Rouse in Chapter 2 regardless of what we say. Which is pretty insane when you consider just how much control we can have over others, even outside of just Chris. And the one who really hammers in how much freedom Susie has is Gerson. Gerson's entire fight is essentially just telling Susie that she's the one with the power to change fate. She holds that white pen of hope that can write the story she wants to see. In my eyes, it's deliberately contrasting a huge amount of Chris and Spamton's relationship. Spamton knew how little freedom Chris had and constantly tried to abuse that in order to get his own. But Gerson knows how much freedom Susie has and makes that clear while encouraging her to make the most of it. Both of them are secret bosses about freedom who relate to one of our heroes, but whose messages are reversed. Heck, even the way that you find and battle each of these secret bosses are polar opposites to each other. Chris goes on their own behind everyone's backs and cuts this deal with Spamton, ultimately resulting in Susie and Rouse having to come to the rescue in the basement. But with Gerson, even though Susie clearly wants the axe, she never abandons the others to get it and finds it with them. And once you get to the Gerson fight, then she's left alone to have a one-on-one with him. So much about these fights mirror and contrast each other, not only just in their messages, but even their build-up and the party dynamics during them. And with how important freedom is in this universe, it means that Susie is being built up to be a beast, and by the end of Chapter 4, I'd argue that she already kind of is. She's the main reason we can even win against the Knight and the Titan, and for a second she straight up just wins a clash against the Knight one-on-one, being able to chip off a part of their blade. She's become the most useful member of the party in nearly every aspect, having the best HP, attack, a great offensive spell, and even healing, which outmatches Rouse's in terms of the raw amount it actually heals for. And above all else, she's the only one with any hope of saving this doomed narrative. This isn't just something that Gerson says either, it's at the forefront of the story. Susie looks at that final prophecy, whatever tragic fate is almost assuredly going to pass, and laughs right in its face. She's definitely way more worried about it really happening than she lets on, but I don't think the fact that she's the one to destroy it and laugh at it is any coincidence. Especially because unlike other parts of the prophecy, this one doesn't come back or reform after she breaks it. If anyone is going to shatter this prophecy to bits, it's going to be her. And it's only possible because she has enough hope in a better future. It's her signature trait, that unrelenting hope that things will be okay. Before the new chapters came out, I got a couple of comments on my shorts about how HP in Undertale might stand for hope, just like how LV and EXP are acronyms. To be honest, I never really thought much of it. It didn't have much of a concrete basis in that game. But in the context of Deltarune, I started to find the idea much more compelling. I know this is a real shot in the dark, but maybe HP really does stand for hope in this game. Susie notably has the most HP out of any party member, and has been actively learning a spell which replenishes HP. She is the embodiment of hope, and this is why I think we're all unanimously rallied behind her right now. Susie is the literal last hope we have of turning this story around. We're all putting our faith in her because she can do what we can't: make a better ending. No matter how hard we try, we just can't seem to do it. No matter what choices we make, things either stay the same or just get much, much worse. Even us, beings from a higher plane of existence, literal angels in the context of Deltarune, can't make a good ending, but Susie can. We can't know exactly what it is she'll do, but odds are it's going to be insane. After all, the prophecy definitely isn't going down easy. She's already pretty darn strong, and we're only barely past the halfway point. I can't imagine how crazy she'll get by the end of this game. Whatever she does, there's no doubt in my mind that it'll result in some of the best moments in all of Deltarune and Undertale. But to level with you for a moment, the reason that I like her so much is because of her arc with healing magic, and specifically this moment. This scene was amazing, and really hit home for me. I think it did for a lot of people. I've had things that I'm passionate about, but just kind of sucked at. At the start of the video, I mentioned that my theories haven't always been that great, but if I'm being honest here, it's more so just writing in general. Writing scripts like the one I'm reading aloud to you right now, even. I made a few video essays when I was first starting out on YouTube, but I was never super satisfied with how they turned out. I always felt like the writing in these videos was lacking from my end, and it never seemed like a lot of them were very well received either. Even now, it feels like I constantly see other great video essays with writing that I simply can't hope to match. So for a while there, I just stopped, gave up. After all, what's the point? If other people are just better at it, maybe I should just leave it to them. To be clear, it's not like I dislike the normal gameplay videos and challenges I do. In fact, I like them just as much, but writing is something that I enjoy too. It's just one skill that I've never been all too good at. So I went years without making a single video essay, afraid that it wouldn't do well, or that I wouldn't be able to write a good one. But recently, I decided to pick the pen back up. Or, well, the keyboard, you know what I mean. Earlier this year, I finally started to make video essays again. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I think a part of me realized if I give up, I'll never get better. Sure, I could accept that this is something I'll just suck at forever, or I could actually try to improve. And after Chapter 4, I've started to see a lot of similarities between my writing and Susie's healing magic. I still don't feel like I'm all that great at it, even after my recent attempts, and there's a chance that I might never get that good at it either. But I have gotten better, even if just a little bit. In a lot of ways, it really reflects how I see Susie right now, not just in her arc with Gerson and healing magic during Chapter 4, but in the story going forward. Right now, things are seeming pretty hopeless. There's a prophecy with some kind of doomed ending which seems unbreakable. It's played out exactly as it's been written, and there's seemingly no way to change its course. And yet, despite all of that, Susie rejects it. She holds on to her hope that she can make things better. Not just her healing magic, but the ending too. And I believe in her. Just like in real life, there are no guarantees. We don't know what will happen in the future. We can't know. Susie's healing magic might stop improving. I might not get better as a writer. The prophecy might come true after all. But why give up? Why stop trying to improve? Because it's only with the hope that we can make things better that we can write a better story.